Well, hello. What's up, Hatch Tribe? Happy Wednesday, May 1st. I seriously don't know how it has become May 1st already. Today, we have a really special guest that's going to pop on. So I need to put over here that I can allow people to access us. So while I'm waiting on our special guest, Sheryl, to join us, I wanted to make a giant announcement, which you may have actually seen if you're on our newsletter or you're on our social media. You probably are. Today, the doors to the Hatch Tribe Member Circle are officially open. We only do this a couple times a year where we bring on new members into our VIP communities specifically for women entrepreneurs. And today is the day. The doors are open. And there are some giant bonuses that I want to make sure you do not miss out on. So if you haven't looked at that yet, go to hatchtribe.com. You'll see it on the very first landing page, all the details about the member circle, all the bonuses you get access to when you join. And all of that is happening literally right now. So I will tell you, one of the bonuses is that you get to come to a conference that we'll be hosting in Charleston. We're doing our very first conference ever. It's called Inspire and Ignite, and it's going to be amazing. It's on June 19th, so join us. Hi, Sheryl. How's it going? So Sheryl, let me see if I can get you on the screen. Sheryl, can you, I see that you're here, but it's not showing up as your viewers. So click on the, there's probably a little button at the bottom that's like a picture in picture where you might be able to request to join me on the screen. So if you can request to join me, I can pop you up here. I've got that option turned on, so you should be able to request to join. It's just for whatever reason not showing me that you're viewing me currently, although I know you're here. God, you gotta love technology, don't you? There, okay, let me invite you on. Yay! Sheryl is joining us. We've got an agenda too, I'll have you know. Hi!
Hi!
How's it going? I swear every single week it's like there's something new where I'm like, do I invite? How do I invite? Where are they? We'll figure it out one of these days. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm so good. It's a big day today. The doors to the member circle are open.
I know. I'm so excited.
Thanks. Me too. You know, today is really fun. Sheryl is actually one of our members, and she's also a mentor in the member circle. So we're going to get to talk about some fun stuff with her and things that she's been working on in her own business, and a course that she has, or rather a mentor masterclass that she's teaching to the tribe that's coming up later this month. So we have lots to talk about. So before we do that, why don't you introduce yourself to the community and say hello?
Hi, everybody. I'm Sheryl Guarniero. I'm a business strategist and mindset coach. I love working with female entrepreneurs. It's one of my favorite things to do, honestly, and I really help them organize and make their business very efficient and help them really get their shit in order. I had somebody once say to me when I was on the phone call with them, they're like, "You're kind of like a Marie Kondo, but for my business," and I started cracking up. Because I love that show.
I love that description. That's so great. The Marie Kondo of business organization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To really, that's the whole point, is to really help people get their shit together so that they can have more joy in their life and not get like sucked into their business and get in that back and forth that sometimes we tend to get into with it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that, you know, it ebbs and flows. Like, I think that so many of us know like those good tools that we can use in our business or to organize our day and our lives. It just doesn't mean we always use them all the time. We might know them. It just doesn't mean we're always executing them perfectly every single day. Right.
Absolutely, yes.
So, Sheryl, you will be leading a mentor masterclass inside the Hatch Tribe Member Circle that's actually coming up on May 21st. And that particular masterclass is called Simplify to Amplify Your Business and Life. So can you give us a little sneak peek of what that's about and what our members can expect to learn during that masterclass?
Absolutely. So in that class, we're really going over covering streamlining and efficiency and organization in order to simplify what you're doing in your business, as well as amplify how your business is operating, the income, the impact that you're having, so that you get to maintain your sanity and enjoy your life and actually have a business that grows, as opposed to living in that place of smallness and fear, where you're afraid if you let go of the reins, things are going to come crashing down. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk about systems that you can put in place, things that you can do, delegation, automation of your business, organizing yourself, your life, your schedule, so that you're making the most out of your day and you don't feel like you're actually driving the bus, as opposed to feeling like you're
Like
holding
it
on for
driving
dear
you.
life.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Cheryl, I have a question for you because you work with business owners as well. And I think one of the things that I see is there's always that tendency to want to add. And I think in many cases, it's from a very pure place. It's like we're creative, we're driven, we want to explore new things in our business. But there reaches like this tipping point where suddenly it's like we've added too much and now we simply can't execute. So what has been your perspective working with your clients around like the adding versus like the need to sometimes take away and do a little bit less?
I feel like, especially as women, we're always kind of programmed to be doing everything and taking care of everyone, and and putting more into our schedule. And so it's really easy to do that, but it's really hard to pull that up back. And in everything, in our business and in our life, saying yes to things. We do that a lot. And
Yeah.
and it's really good. And that's one of the things I do work with people first, is really like getting clear on where they are, getting centered on where they are doing right now, because we all live in that future place of like, I have this goal and I want to get there, whether it's like,
Right. It's down
you
the
know
line.
a good example that I feel like people relate to is like, you always keep that one pair of jeans that you're like, I used to fit in those, and that's like my goalpost, and you
I
don't
hope I'll get
realize
back into
yeah.
them. Yeah.
And you're like, you're like, all right, I'm gonna run, and you've never, like, I have never been a runner myself in my life, and I've gone through those periods, and you always get stuck in this like, I'm gonna do this, or this future mindset, and you never take
Mm-hmm.
stock of what you're doing now and what's actually going to work for you, so you can succeed and give yourself the best chance to succeed. And I think that happens a lot with our schedules too. We think we can
Yeah.
take in all this stuff, and we're always living in this busyness that we don't sit down and actually like look at the schedule we have in front of us. I mean, even people that, my biggest recommendation is always to get like a planner and write it out.
Write it. Yeah.
And this is the one I have. It's like this thick. And it really, I mean, it's great for planning ahead of time, but to sit down and really like go back, I have people do that. And at the end of the day, literally document everything they're doing, like for even half-hour increments, and
Yeah.
then see what they've done with their day. And
Right.
that, oh my God, it gives you, they're like, holy shit, like I didn't
For
realize
sure.
all the crap I was doing.
Yeah, and like your time just sometimes evaporates, and then you're like, "Gosh, I
Hmm.
didn't realize that." Like, I think the example I like to use is your newsletter. Like say you're sending out a weekly newsletter. Many people be like, "Oh, it only takes me 30 minutes," and I'm like, "Does it really?" Because when I monitored, at least in my business, I was like, sometimes it's taking me 2 hours. Like, and I had no sense that it was really consuming that much time. And like, why can't I get as much done on these days when I'm like trying to do this one task? So, really good point. Um, well, I also asked you before we hopped on here what topics you had on your mind and some things that you've been experiencing in your own business and stuff that's top of mind. So, what has been going on with you, and what are some things that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I've just had a really nice full schedule. Just getting things in order. I've been revamping my coaching programs that I'm doing to really focus on a niche that I really love, which is this organizational and efficiency. And really what it's all about is like helping people keep their sanity so they don't send
Yeah.
themselves to the hospital. Because I've done that before, where it's like you just
Too
keep
much
going and you don't
stress?
even, yes, too much stress. And
Yeah.
especially, I live in the Northeast, and that's really the lifestyle here. Like everybody wants everything yesterday, and there's always a rush.
Hmm.
So that's been a big focus of mine, as well as like personally, I've really run into, not getting caught up in like the what you should be doing, and really
Hmm.
focusing on, and what I mean by that is not like, okay, you really should be, maintaining your finances, or doing these certain things in your business, more of the seeing what everybody else does, and then feeling like you
Yeah.
should, case of the shoulds. And and
Yeah.
so it's really just reconnecting with yourself. And there's a lot of that too that I work on with my clients, because you can have a business, and a lot of people get started in this to make it's a combination of making an impact and also having this time freedom And then as a bonus, you get income to do what you love. But then you kind of I find that like you get sucked into these like, oh, I should really be doing this, and you lose connection with like you and what you really makes you unique instead of trying to fit in that box. And it happens so slowly when you don't realize it as it's happening.
For sure. I have a friend of mine who calls that like it's the glass box that we create for ourselves. So when you're working for someone else, it's like oftentimes those constraints are forced upon you. And it's like, oh, well, I can't really affect the change here because it's not my business. It's not my company. I can't create systemic change. But then when you're running your own business, sometimes you create your own little boundaries. And then you're like, wait, do I want to be in here? Like, are these the boundaries I wanted for myself? So I think that it's the glass house we end up creating. And it's like, of course you can change it, but it does require shifts in behavior and creating like a really new way of being in your business and a new way of behaving, which can be hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're coming from this, we're all pre-programmed to like, even as kids, like school, there's the time you're here and the time you're here. And you just it's so easy to fall into those habits. So, and that's a part of, that all of it, because it's all your life. You're really designing your life. Your business is a part of you and your passion, and it's just as much your life as your personal life is. So,
without a doubt,
being able to, and all of that affects it. So, really, I've been doing a ton of reading. I've been like a sponge, just absorbing everything. So that I have like all of the,
the tools,
everything. The tools, yeah. So it's been really great.
Without a doubt. That's awesome. Let me ask you this. You live in New Jersey, right?
Yes.
So what's the entrepreneurship scene like there? What do you think are some of the strengths of entrepreneurs in your community?
We definitely, it's funny because it's like the both sides of the same coin. So everybody is very supportive of each other, and the groups are really starting to come out and stuff. But it's like this, occasionally you'll run into the people that are kind of like, this is mine and I don't want you near it, and it's not as collaborative, but it's in that same vein that just kind of gives everybody else who's really collaborating and realizing like this is the healthy way to do things in the future, like that feel of like, okay, like listen, everybody has their niche.
Yeah, of course.
It's great because we do have a lot of outgoing people, and it's nice because I found that people will speak their mind here and be honest in a respectful way, but that's really great too, because you're not tiptoeing around. You don't feel like you have to walk on eggshells or,
Yeah. I can see that being a nice skill set for some other people to learn in some other markets. Yeah, I can get that. And it's funny you mentioned earlier, like the fast pace. And I think that the East Coast definitely is that way for sure. And the further north you go towards New York, it's like the faster it gets. And I remember when I moved from Chicago to Charleston, I was buying my car and I was up because, I'd been living in a city and we lost Sheryl. Uh-oh. Well, if Sheryl pops back on, there she is. She's joining us. Hang tight. You back?
Yeah, there we go. I don't know what happened. I just shut off.
It's okay. No worries.
Go ahead.
But what I was saying is when I moved here from Chicago and I was trying to buy a car, I was very much like, hurry up, because I'd been living in the city and the pace of life was quick. And the guy at the dealership goes, now you can't come down here and like ruin it. You've got to like adopt the pace of life. And I was like, oh, and Charleston, where we live, it's like, it is a little bit slower. And there are some things that like, you feel like really drag on. And it's just so funny to me, the nuances of like different cities and what business is like, because they are all different depending on where you live, without question. But I think what you're saying though, about like finding your community, people who want to collaborate with you is important. And I think for all business owners, and certainly that's a big part of what Hatch Tribe is about, is like, giving entrepreneurs and specifically women entrepreneurs a real place to connect and grow with one another, as opposed to being like dueling it out all the time. So you've of course been a member now of Hatch Tribe for many, many months. So I'm just curious from your perspective, what has it been like for you being a part of our community?
It's actually been really great. As somebody, and I think we all do this, we jump in all the Facebook groups and do all the things. And it was really different. Like I feel I had to describe it one day, like the first time I described it to somebody else. I
Yeah.
was like, it's actually like this, it's such a great community of women and it feels so safe. It's different than a Facebook group where, you know, even the ones that are really good and not very spammy, you're still kind of a little bit like reserved and you keep yourself
Yeah.
in that, like and it's like, I feel like I can walk in there and I'm talking to really well-educated women who know their shit and I can ask a question and feel totally comfortable and not feel like it's a dumb question or get some feedback on something or some honest, and everybody is so helpful and it's just been such a great and different experience and I love just the format of it too. Between the website and the app, it's so much easier to interact with it and people, and because it's separate from Facebook, you don't get like, I don't get sucked into the land of
Yeah,
Facebook
I
like,
know.
oh, like hop on
Right.
Facebook, let me get in this group. Shit, what was I doing? I totally
Yeah.
forgot like 30 minutes
I
later. So
know. Yeah, the bane of the entrepreneur's existence. I know. I appreciate you saying that. I think it's always good to hear other people's interpretation of our community because of course, you know, I have my own idea of what I think is going on there, but you know, our members are really the people who make it happen. And I love hearing that about it feeling like a safe place to share. And you know, we really strive to make it exactly that because I think for so many of us, there's questions that we can feel really silly asking. It's like, oh God, is someone going to think me a nut that I don't know this yet, you know, in my business? And I think that's the joy of having business owners involved in our community that really have been running businesses for such a varying length of time. You know, we have members that I've owned business for 25, 30 years. And then we have others that are just getting started. And when you get that cross pollination, it's really cool. And people offer such profound insight to one another that to me, it's just really compelling. So I appreciate you echoing that and it feeling like a safe place to be. So
and it's
thanks.
nice. It's definitely different. Like up here, we have a lot of meetup groups that come up, and it's weird. It's like a weird combination. I'm 36, and so you have like the young professionals, which technically I still fall in that group, but they're like 24, 25.
Right.
And then you have like they have women's groups that are older women who are in their 40s and 50s, and they're a great resource. But it's almost like when you step into that group where you're like the young one in the group of older women,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it feels a little uncomfortable. And the same thing as, you know, stepping into that other. So it's that other
Yeah.
age range. So it's nice that there is like a really great group of women within there of all
Mm-hmm.
different respects, and you don't feel that weird vibe, you know, like of like, who
Yeah.
is she, why is she here, you
Oh,
know,
sure.
like
Yeah, no.
so,
Everybody's
you
like, okay,
know,
we're all business owners. We're good.
yeah, exactly. And so it's really wonderful, and I find that
Thank
like
you.
everybody there is so welcoming, and it's just a very nice and open, welcoming experience, and you actually feel like you're a part of it as opposed to joining like a Slack group with 500 people
Right.
and you're like,
It's tough.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I
mhm.
know. I know. Well, thank you for that feedback so much. For those of you who popped on a little bit late, Sheryl is one of our members in the Hatch Tribe member circle. She's also a mentor, and she's leading a mentor masterclass happening later this month on May 21st. It's called Simplify to Amplify Your Business and Life, with the idea that you can discover how to do more by doing less through habits, routines, changing your inner dialogue while leveraging tools for a healthy and expansive mindset. I need some of that. It's good. So also, if you're not part of the member circle, this is actually a really auspicious day because you can become a member, and the enrollment is currently open. So we have enrollment open from May 1st through May 10th. It's your opportunity to join, and we open enrollment a couple of times per year so we can do a really bang up job of onboarding everybody and helping everybody feel really welcome when they join. So you can find all the details for that on our website at hatchtribe.com. And of course, there you can connect with Sheryl. So before we go, Sheryl, anything else you want to share with the community?
um When I think of it, I mean, I am my new coaching program that I'm launching, which is really it's one-on-one coaching. That's going off on May
Yeah.
15th. There's a lot happening for me in May, which
Awesome.
is great.
Good.
Yeah, and I've just been and I have a retreat at the end of the month to Costa Rica. That's exciting.
Oh, how
I
fun.
can't wait. But yeah, otherwise feel free to check me out. I'm on the member circle. I have a website. It's just my name, SherylGuarniero.com, and You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, all the fun social media platforms and places too.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to suggest after I hit end on this, of course, we'll post this video. And Sheryl, if you will, go comment on this video and put your website link, because I have a feeling people might not be able to spell your last name. So
Yes.
it might be, we can make that a little easier for them. I know. I get it. I totally get it. Okay, great. Well, Sheryl, thanks so much for joining me today to talk about all the things happening in the world of entrepreneurship and your life and the member circle and whatnot. And for those of you who haven't yet joined us in the member circle, we'd love to both connect with you there. And yeah, we'll talk with you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Have a good day.
Thanks so much, Sheryl. You too. Bye.